As I coach teachers and providers about the documentation process, I want them to understand that their observation notes and those wonderful photos are valuable to use with children, not just other adults. When you bring your documentation to children, you'll discover this leads to many of the learning outcomes you're after. Children see their play and explorations are of interest to others. They want to tell you more and begin to expand their vocabulary. They develop stories about their learning to share with their families. They're motivated to revisit their ideas, and their play becomes more complex. They discover more about their playmates for ongoing relationships. So, for example, in one of their team meetings, Nick and Emily discussed some block building that their 2-year-olds had started to get interested in. They wondered if this interest was prompted by some photos of buildings they had put in the block area. To find out more, they decided their next step would be to show the children the photos of their block building and then add these to the original photos of buildings they had put up.
Sharing documentation with children really helps them feel like they are valued and that their work is respected. And they can really only get that feeling when I bring it to them. And when I bring it to them, they get a sense that I'm taking what they do seriously, and I do. Another aspect that I found is when I share and reflect their work back with them, they add another layer of language to their repertoire. And when we have these conversations about their work, then it just adds into their vocabulary, and then it comes out later. And then in turn, they can even reflect their own peers' work with what they're doing as they're in the moment playing with each other and working on certain skills. I brought pictures in of children building cityscapes and tall buildings, and we had, after a long discussion, we had the idea to bring back the pictures to the kids, because we've been doing this whole house exploration and where people sleep in different areas, and since they've been building that, we figured, well, let's bring it up and see what they do. And I shared with them their pictures and told them that we were going to hang them up above the poster board, and they seemed to really be intrigued by that idea. And one girl in particular, right after that conversation, decided she wanted to go build her city again. So I really saw that power in sharing the pictures back with them.
How did seeing Nick and Emily's documentation of their block building impact these 2-year-olds? Within a few minutes, some of them left Nick's side and began to build even more elaborate structures. And when Emily shared this story with one of the children's dads, they decided this dad would tell his daughter that he could see she was an architect. The next morning when they arrived, he joined her in block building. Using documentation with children can enrich both relationships and curriculum planning. Try this. Tell children a story about something they were playing using your photos and notes. Tell them what you're curious about. Document their response. Talk with a coworker and the children's families about what you might plan next.